G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran from GuitarZero2Hero, and to celebrate the Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album just got released last week, I'll be counting down the top 7 Red Hot Chili Peppers guitar riffs of all time. And at the end of this video, I'll actually be teaching you all 7 of those guitar riffs, so stick around for that too.
Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, very glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there, waiting for Danny and Billy singing songs to me.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop, chop, he says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant cousin to the reservation. Defunct the pistol that you... How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't. Come to decide that the things that I try were in my life just to get high on. When I sing along, tongue get a little long, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we.
Alright, so before we dive into the songs, be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. So starting with song number 7, By the Way, perhaps one of the easiest riffs out of the 7. We start with a power chord on the 8th and 10th fret of the 5th and 4th strings. So index finger on the 8th fret of the 5th string and your ring finger on the 10th fret of the 4th string. You're going to pluck that 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from this position, you take your index finger and you just slide it down 1 fret. So it's a bit of a stretch, but it's not too bad. And you hit that 8 times as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, we end on a power chord on 5th fret and 7th fret of the 6th and 5th strings. So index finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string and ring finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string. And you pluck that down 16 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for By the Way. Altogether, it sounds like this. Alright, so we get to song number 6, Scar Tissue. This one's a little more difficult. So basically we start with our index finger on the 8th fret of the 5th string, and we now pinky on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Now it's really important here that what you do with your index finger is that you're lightly resting it on all the other strings that don't have anything pushed down. For example, the first string, the third string, and the fourth string. You just have it lightly rest on top. And by doing so, your fifth string only rings out, your second string rings out, and nothing else does. This is how John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers gets so much feel in his riffs. Because most of the time he's just actually strumming all the strings, but he's only hitting one note essentially because everything else is muted. So that's a technique that takes a little time to develop to be able to know how to mute the strings around the notes that you want to play. But moving on, we'll just make things a bit more simple. But you should try to do that. So we hit the fifth string with the down pick, second string with the up pick, and then you do that 3 more times. And it'll sound like this. And one more time. And faster. So after that, we get into our next position with our index and middle finger. Your index will go onto the 8th fret of the 6th string, and your middle finger will go onto the 9th fret. So those 2 notes. And again, your index finger, you want to just sort of hover it above all the other notes so that they are muted. It's very important you do this because we're going to be basically hitting all the strings, but you only want the 6th and the 3rd string to ring out. And you can only do that by lightly muting all the other strings with your index finger. So you hit those 2 notes, then you hit them again, and then you slide both fingers up to 10th fret. After we've slid to the 10th fret for both fingers, we go up on the 3rd string, down on the 6th string, and we do that 3 times. So, and one more time. Then we hit the 3rd string with the up pick, slide down to the 9th fret, and with our index finger that slides down to the 8th fret as well. And then we end on the bass note of the 6th string. So it sounds like this. So now we move on to the next line, and we go back to the 8th fret and 10th fret with our index and pinky. And we hit the 5th string, 2nd string, and then we do that 3 more times. So, and then with your middle finger, you'll put that on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and you'll hit that. So for this second bit, it sounds like. And then with our index and middle finger, you go back to 8th fret and 9th fret on the 6th and 3rd strings, and then you hit that and slide to the 10th fret for both strings. And then with your pinky, you'll hit the 12th fret and pull off, and then do that one more time. So altogether, that second line sounds like this. And the whole riff sounds like this. And that's Scar Tissue. So coming in at number 5 is Can't Stop, probably one of the funkiest riffs out of the bunch. So we start with our index finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string. You're going to hit that with a down up, and then with the index finger you go down to the 3rd string of the same fret, you hit that, and then you go to the 9th fret with your ring finger. So down, up, down, down. This is my suggested picking. Of course you can do your own, but I think this is the most efficient and feels the best. And then we go back to the 5th string of the 7th fret with that index finger, and we hit that 3 times, the down, up, down. And then we go back to the 3rd string, 7th fret, and we pluck that with the up, and then 9th fret, up. So down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, up. After that, we go back to the 7th fret with our index on 5th string, and we hit this 3 times with a up, down, up, and then you go down to the 5th fret of the 5th string with a down pick. So up, down, and then we go back to the 7th fret of the 3rd string with a down, and then 9th fret with the down. So we have up, down, 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 down. And then we go back to the 5th fret again, We hit this 3 times with a down, up, down, and then back to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, 7 and 9, and then back to the 5th fret with a up, down, up. So for that first full line we have and then we start our next line with the 7th fret on the 6th string with a down pick, and then you go to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, down, 9th fret, down, and then we hit that 7th fret of the 6th string with a down, up, down, and then we go back to the 7th fret of the 3rd string with an up, and then 9th fret, up, and then back to the 6th string, 7th fret with a up, down, up, and then with our middle finger we go to the 8th fret of the 6th string, down, and then 7th fret, 3rd string, down, 9th fret, down, and then 3 more picks on the 8th fret, down, up, down, and then again back up to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, up, and then 9th fret, up, and then finally back to the 8th fret of the 6th string with a up, down, up. And then we return to the start of the full riff again. So the second line that we just learnt sounds like this. And altogether, the full riff sounds like this. And that's it for Can't Stop. Now coming in at number 4 is Otherside. And this is a really, really simple riff, but it's a great example of how riffs don't have to be complicated to sound amazing and get stuck in your head. So for Otherside, we start on the 7th fret of the 5th string, and we play that 3 times. And then we go to the 7th fret of the 4th string, and we hit that twice. Then we go to 9th fret, back to the 7th fret of the same string, and then with your pinky, 10th fret of the 5th string, and then back home to 7th fret of the 5th string. So far we have. And then after that, you go down to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and you hit that 3 times. The second line is quite similar, so we go 7th fret, hit that 3 times, and then 7th fret of the 4th string, hit that twice, 9, 7, 10 with the pinky, and then we go back home to the 7th fret of the 5th string, and we hit that for 2 long notes, and then 2 short ones, and then we go down to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and we hit that 3 times again. And all together, the full riff sounds like this. And that's it for Otherside. Coming in at number 3 is Snow Hey-O. Now this is definitely the best song from Stadium Arcadium in my opinion. Now for this riff you really need some stretchy hands here, but it sounds absolutely amazing. So we're going to start with our middle and ring finger on the 6th fret for the 5th and 4th strings, right there. And our index finger is just going to be on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So we pluck 5th, 4th, and then 3rd with a down, down, up. And then we go back to 4th with the down pick. So down, down, up, down. And then you're going to go back to the 3rd string with an up pick. And when you pick that with an up pick, you're going to hammer on with your pinky onto the 6th fret of the 3rd string and then pull off instantly. So down, down, up, up. And then we go back to the 4th string with the down and then back to the 3rd string with the up. And a bit faster. Now the picking pattern for this next section is going to be exactly the same, but our finger positioning will be different. Now from this position, you take your middle finger and you now put that on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and your ring finger is going to go to the 7th fret of the 5th string. And we're going to do the same picking pattern here. Down, down, up, down. And then when you go up on the 3rd string, the hammer-on pull-off will be done with your middle finger. So you can lift that off the 4th string and hammer-on pull off onto the 3rd string. So down, down, up, and then down, up. After the hammer-on pull-off, you return that middle finger to its original position on the 6th fret of the 4th string. So that chord sounds like this. And fast. Our next chunk is exactly the same, except this whole shape gets moved up 1 string. The picking pattern is going to be exactly the same, so down, down, up, down. And with the up pick, you're going to hammer on with your middle finger from 4th to 6th, and then return it to its original position with a down and up pick. So that chunk sounds like this. And faster. And we're going to maintain this chord shape for the next chunk in a different position though. So this next position is going to be on 9th fret of the 5th string, 8th fret of the 4th string, and 6th fret of the 3rd string. Like that. But for the first note, we're actually going to slide this up from the 6th fret. Like that. And then everything else is exactly the same. The picking pattern and also the hammer on. And fast. And that's it for the riff, and that just gets repeated over and over. So in total, the riff sounds like this. Coming in at number 2 is Californication. Again, another example of a super simple riff that's very catchy and has stood the test of time. So to play this, we have an A minor position, except you're going to lift your index finger to begin with. So you're going to pluck the 5th and 4th strings with a down pick, then the open 2nd string with an up pick, and then you take your index finger and you put it down now to complete the A minor, and then you're going to pluck the 2nd string again with a down pick. Now up here in the tabs, I'm going to have a couple of notes in brackets. Now these are optional notes that you can play. It's actually what the bass is playing, but if you're playing by yourself with an acoustic, then it's actually cool to add these notes. So these extra notes after we've played starts with the 4th string. So you're going to hit that with the down pick, but then you're going to lift your finger off and hammer on pull off on the 2nd fret of that 4th string. So, and then with your ring finger, hit the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So the notes in brackets are, and together. The next section is an F power chord. So index finger on the 1st fret of the 6th string and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So you hit 6th string, 5th string with the down, down, and then you're going to hit the open 3rd string with an up pick, and then with your middle finger you push that down onto the 2nd fret of that 3rd string with a down pick. So, and then the notes in brackets, what the bass plays, it's going to be the 4th string and then the 5th string. So the F section sounds like this. And altogether the riff sounds like. And if we're just playing the guitar part by itself, it'll sound like this. And then coming at number 1 is of course Under the Bridge, probably my favourite Red Hot Chili Peppers song. I used to play this on repeat all day, every day when I was learning guitar when I was like 15, 16. So I might be a little biased in saying that this is the number 1 Red Hot Chili Peppers guitar riff, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me. So this is one of the other trickier riffs to play. So we're starting with quite a weird chord shape, and this is going to push a lot of beginners out there with stretching, but you got to give it a shot because that's the only way you're going to learn, right? We have pinky finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And this is one of the main chord shapes that the riff is based around. So it's very important you get this correct. If you get this correct, you'll pretty much get the rest of the riff. So we're going to start by hybrid picking, and you're going to pick the 5th string, and at the same time you're going to pluck the 2nd string. So after that, you go 4th string, 3rd string with an up pick, back to the 4th string with a down pick, and then 2nd string with an up pick. And then we end with the 3rd string with an up pick. So that's it for that chord shape. And then there's a 4-note lick to transition into the next chord, which starts with your ring finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string, and then an up pick with the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then pinky finger on 5th fret of the 6th string with a down, and then 4th fret of the 5th string with your ring finger with an up pick. So the transition sounds like with that down, up, down, up. The next chord shape we have is F sharp, and we're going to pluck it like this: 6, 5, 4, 5, 3, 4. With a down, down, up, down, up, up. So all those notes are based off that F sharp bar chord. After that, there's another transition lick, which is quite similar to the other one, but just on a different string. So to play this, you already have your pinky finger there on the 4th fret of the 4th string. So you pluck that, and then you go down to 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then with our pinky, you go 5th fret of the 5th string, and then index onto the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And that transition lick sounds like... And then we're going to go back to our original chord shape, but to get there, we're going to slide from 4th fret up to the 5th fret with our pinky. And then we go 4th string, 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string. And then this is the tricky part. We're going to do a hammer-on pull-off with our pinky. So you lift that, and then you hammer-on pull-off onto 5th fret with your pinky, and then you hit the 3rd string. And then you return your pinky back to its original position, and then you're going to hit the 5th and 4th strings together, slide them up 2 frets, and hit again. And then go back to your F sharp bar chord. And then you go slide, 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd. So you'll notice there's no hammer on with the pinky in this little bit. And then we're going to do the first transition lick that we learnt. So 4, 2, 5, 4, and then back to the F sharp bar chord. And then we slide to that first chord shape again from 4th fret to 5th fret. And then we go 4th string, 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string. And then we get to that 2nd string with the up pick. You're going to take your pinky finger, lift it off, and then hammer on, pull off onto the 5th fret. Now this is a little tricky for beginners, but give it a go. And then back to the 3rd string. And then after that, we're going to do that slide again. So you put your pinky back in its original position, slide the 5th and the 4th strings, and then hit them again. And then you end on the F sharp bar chord, and you play this. So that last note, when you get to that 5th string, and you hit that 4th, you slide up to 7. And altogether, the full riff sounds like this. And those are the top 7 Red Hot Chili Peppers guitar riffs of all time. So what do you guys think? Did I leave something out? Leave your thoughts below. I know there's a couple of other really good ones, but these, in my eyes, were the top 7 and the most memorable. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Also be sure to check out the GuitarZero2Hero web store for some awesome guitar merchandise. Awesome gifts for guitarists out there. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, then please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave your thoughts, comments and questions below, and I'll see you next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.